Hi, you're watching Dog-Eared Musings, and I'm Monika's Hands. And right now you're probably thinking, wow, you're really going to talk about a book that's about cannibalism, and you're going to be making hamburgers? Ew. And to that I say, it's special meat. I mean, it's meatless burgers. I recently finished the novel Tender is the Flesh, a speculative fiction written by Agustina Bazterrica, published in 2017. This book takes place post-Panini that has affected the world's meat supply, to the point where the international government has made eating certain meat illegal, but are allowing humans to capitalize and profit from cannibalism. I think this is a good time to mention that the book has literally every trigger in it, so make sure you look this book up before reading. To say this book is graphic is an understatement. This book is nasty. Like, I've never felt so physically ill while reading a book until I read Bazterrica's book. This book is also amazing. It's powerful. It's not just a book about cannibalism, it's a book that focuses on the power of words, censorship, autonomy, and power, and the stunning grief of fathers and sons. It brought me to question, what is the draw to reading gross books? And what is it about the ick factor that just draws us in? I first took to Reddit to see if I was normal. The most common answers fell into two camps. We read books with gruesome things because our brains like comparison. These made-up scenarios make us feel like we are normal and not as bad as the made-up scenarios that our authors are creating. The second camp falls into the line that these books are simulated thought experiments. Reading something gross is sort of a controlled environment that makes you feel like you survived something. When thinking about why children like to read books about gross subject matter, according to booktrust.org, it's almost like riding a roller coaster. It can be safe and fun, but only if someone is up for it. And this point is especially important when thinking about how readers should have agency and context when reading, as this can be a safe way to process fear or anger if the reader wants to do so. Educators and librarians can do this by providing book lists or book discussions to help encourage discussion or prompt readers to avoid books that cover subjects that they don't want to process. But for those that gravitate towards horror as a genre, this is simulated and controlled space where it's okay to be scared. You learn what it feels like to feel nervous, or scared, angry, or disgusted in a space where things aren't actually dangerous. A third reason for why people read horror is surprisingly for optimism. According to Dr. Steven Schlotzman, a Harvard University professor and the author of The Zombie Autopsies: Secret Notebooks from the Apocalypse, in his interview with Bustle, speculative horror highlights the gaps, and he states that it is about how we pull together and do our best and rise above our petty, racist, or identity-born impulses and do what needs to be done in order to sort of get through the day, or how we let those old ways of approaching the world kind of overtake and then we lose. In other words, horror highlights these faults within our society, which can be cathartic, or at the fault of sounding too optimistic, can also be grounds to help bring about change. So with that being said, I'm going to eat these fries before they get too cold. Let me know what gross book you've read lately. This has been Dog-Eared Musings. I'm Monika's Hands, and happy readings.